and the wusu. Assemben and a one come for Bawumia home. And you know, can't say Bawumia, hapter the any dear. I was young for the assemblance here. Me bamo proso sabre we. Sabe gyamfy news far on the Saturday. Na ye din come for good board. Sikaria bi sikabi ayira e wo hono so. Na ye din come no mo. And the former Minister of Tourism, Culture, our MPP, MP, former MP also. And I said, Sammy gyamfy. When I was saying, see my molding. Was it Sikaira will be a year, Jumos Mayanka, Same. Now, we're feeling some men throwing contumpa of Shagun the Passoala. It will grant Sammy gyamfy lay, because Asemna ye catching ye no kurepa. Utimusa ye can asem, but when was in it, swear to my God. So to say, no was in it, because Asemna, the former Ampenikayano. We are Patriman or Junior Coachda. Say, one at 2 1, Casabin when you be guase. But to him, Sammy gyamfy said your tear. At the end, you know, stop a son defender. But video we are so Sammy gyamfy admit to say, Sikaira, and Sikano say, you referee Bank of Ghana, say, you referee good board, a year Sikaira. Nam say, Alhamdulillah. Finally, Sammy gyamfy what you have to say, Mama Ghana for Aboka. Odi yankon could pay video no tie empe mo asemuntie ba ya san to aso ewo efie we amu said the tia meso subscribe na like video mama ba na to aso makra.
Sammy, hold on. Sammy, hold on.
Where you ended that a man's name is all he has, and for me, this in itself should serve as a useful lesson for all of us, because we're in this country when we're told by my good friend that Dr Bawumia is the owner of Haptel, and that every CD that people use to purchase prepaid, a portion of it goes to Dr Bawumia. He knew at the time that it wasn't true, but he said it. A lot of things were said in this country when they were in opposition. And so now you are in government and the heat is being, rained down on you, and rightfully so.
You should accept falsehood.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying that. Yeah, rightfully. Your name is important. And so I'm saying that going forward, we should make this useful lessons to learn and refine how we do our politics of misinformation and falsehood and things that we peddle against our political opponents. That said, you see, he who goes to equity must go with clean hands.
Yes.
Sammy, you make a point that the 400 million loss that was made in 2004 was not disclosed by the Bank of Ghana in its accounts. And that the 1.7 billion that the IMF report is gross loss, even though they don't state so. But you explained that the Bank of Ghana's own statement that they had issued earlier indicated a 21.85 billion loss, of which the government of Ghana had paid 5 billion as contribution to reduce the debt because of the cost that, or its contribution to the cost that Bank of Ghana had incurred. And some sale that the Bank of Ghana had made with gold that they had. And so that then brings a net loss of 9 billion. In 2004, the Bank of Ghana reports a net loss. 2024 reports a net loss equivalent to the 400 million in its accounts. Of course, in that year, government of Ghana did not pay any money to Bank of Ghana to reduce its gross loss. Neither did Bank of Ghana sell any gold to defray the gross loss that they had made. So the 400 million that is reported in the IMF document is actually what is reported in the Bank of Ghana account as net. So if you allege that the MPP government under Dr. Addison did not disclose the loss that they have made in this account, clearly, it's not supported by the facts. It's not. And I've seen people already post on social media that Sammy gyamfy MPP hid 400 million from what Sammy gyamfy, Osnadoye and Co. They've started posting. Okay, but
you recognize also that he took it from a background of a previous interaction with Dr. Kabiru.
The document he's reading is a 2025 document.
But the 2024 accounts is reported in the 2024.
When you are reporting in 2025, the auditor KPMG is giving you 2024
yes.
versus 2025.
Absolutely.
But in the 2024, it is not there.
Why is it not there?
Show me the 2024.
No.
Let me give you the 2024 account.
I'm coming.
So it is the auditors of Bank of Ghana for 2025 who went back to give you the 2024 figure. But in the 2024, the 2024 figure
was
is
not
reported.
There. Okay.
And the 2023 figure
we can validate it.
Is this not my own document?
No, it's not. It's not yours. I pulled it from the Bank of
this
Ghana.
hard copy. I brought it to the studio.
No, I pulled it and screenshot it this morning
no
and
problem.
printed it.
But you agree that it's 2025?
It's right here.
You agree that this was signed by Governor Siaman?
But I don't have to go to the 2024 account.
You have to go.
Why? Because wait.
Go to it and show in 2024 when they reported the 400 million.
Wait. I don't have to go. Because the 2024 account, the previous year's account, is reported in the current year account, so you do the comparison.
No.
Every financial reporting is
you are largely right, but when there are variations to an existing report, you find those variations re-reported here. All right,
but I don't have a problem. I'm saying
what Sammy is saying is that when you take the 24 accounts, it wasn't captured.
It was not there.
So this correction was done.
No, you pull it. You pull it.
So
pull it up because I don't have the time to.
If you can show me in the 2024 accounts where the BOG reported a $400 million loss under domestic good purchase program.
Just show us the evidence.
I will resign as CEO.
No, it's not a question of. It's not a question of resign.
All the reporting was there is no domestic good purchase program loss in it.
If you to
just check.
No, even if
we can't make mistakes.
I realized something that between 2021 up to 2023 thereabout, there was some loss also, but we are not talking about it.
There have been losses when this thing started.
Up to $1 billion plus, right?
I keep saying it. Your people are on social media insulting me. The thing was designed to make losses.
Exactly.
And it was designed to make, I repeat, accounting losses.
Because they were buying at spot price.
Again, when we speak about losses, we should be careful.
It's the nature of it.
The report was addressing accounting losses. Economically, there may be no loss because it was a policy expense that was willfully incurred to achieve a particular benefit.
Which has been achieved.
So we had in 2021, and that was more on the go for oil side as part of the program. Then we had it again in 2023 with the expanded regime going to the entire domestic good purchase program with G4R being a part of it. All right. But it was always designed to make losses, accounting losses. And for one reason, to deal with the issue of smuggling. Because if you don't get access to that asset, you can't leverage that asset for economic transformation or stability. And that is what we were struggling with. And it was so easy to find because you see, you go on the UN, Comtrade data, and then you go to Dubai. Dubai data is there. You say, we have exported more according to Dubai than we ourselves we have captured. So where is the gold? So the way to fix it was this. People criticized it, including Imani. I mean, that particular thing. But there was a reason. And that reason may just be intertemporal. The critical conversation, I think the MPP missed this. All right, the critical conversation right now is if we've transitioned into trying to stabilize things, we've transitioned into trying to formalize processes with a gold board structure. I fully agree with Kofi when he talks about progress, and he also talks about gold board being one of the most strategic policy interventions we made in our economy. We should realize that gold board did not just happen. It is a growth and amalgamation of policy actions and testings and corrections over time, and also the further correction. Bawumia contributed.
He started
it. Yes. Addison contributed.
Yes.
Esiama has contributed.
Yes.
John Mahama has perfected it. Relatively.
It's not perfect.
Perfected what he inherited.
He added relatively.
Relatively.
Yes.
He has done that. And now that we are moving again out of the Bank of Ghana funded regime, we have to actually now optimize what we are doing with better clarity.
All right, thank you.
So look, guys, we were having the wrong conversation. Yes. What we should be having a conversation with Sammy is that now you didn't make the loss. You have operated, and I commend you, Sammy. The fact that you've been able to manage the process to optimize our output,
yes,
you must be commended, because that's your real KPI in this. Is your compliance with the framework and the gold output you eventually realize. And maybe those are the reasons why they gave them enforcement too, so that they can't excuse why they were not performing. All right. Okay. So in the act. So the key question on the policy side, if this is coming to you, like you rightly said, 1st July, and you've been taking responsibility, what have you changed in the policy structure, in the operational strategy that will make sure that we don't have another 1.7 billion loss? Yeah. How do we zero out that loss? Or how do we have a fiscal structure that accommodates the loss in a way that is sustainable for our economy going forward? Or eliminate the conversation we should be having.
Right,
the loss.
Right. But you are asking him questions that the answers may take too long.
No, I'll summarize.
And you haven't asked me to allocate that time.
Yeah, I'll
all right, quickly.
So a few things. Number one, Kofi Bentel's general position is right. We've made progress under this whole gold purchase framework, using gold to show up our economy. Significant progress has been made, and what we have now is not perfect. I'll be a hypocrite to dismiss that. Just that Kofi has done very well today in being factual that the gold board has not made a loss. But when sometimes he turns around and say that, oh, it's a matter of opinion, please. All loss be lost. Whether Jonah swallowed Bonsu or the Bonsu swallowed Jonah, there's a swallow there. However, that is why when our parents gave birth to us, they gave us names. If you have not made a loss, and I have made a loss, and I say you have made a loss, you will not accept it. So just be factual about that, so that we can have a dispassionate conversation. You see, imagine this conversation had not been made about sammy, gyamfy, and gold board and bail conditions. We would have been discussing policy. But when you make it about a person, then we have discussed policy as well. So number two, yeah, we've discussed policy as well. Then number two, quasi fiscal risk, please. You made the same mistake that Massa initially made. That once the IMF says that the domestic good purchase program is a quasi fiscal activity and therefore should move to gold board, then it means that the losses that have been made are gold board losses. That's not the meaning. IMF is saying that the central bank. No, let me answer that. Let me answer that.
Sorry,
please,
gentlemen.
No, you're not entitled.
Gentlemen, hold on.
I want to explain my response.
The Bank of Ghana engages
guys, hold on. Guys, hold on there. Hold on.
So hold on. What is quasi? Hold on. What is quasi fiscal activity? Quasi fiscal activity are activities by SOEs or the central bank, which should have been activities of fiscal agencies like the Ministry of Finance and be captured on the budget, like subsidies. So the IMF says what you are doing to bring in dollars is like a subsidy. The Ministry of Finance and its agencies must be responsible. You as a central bank, your mandate is monetary policy. So stay away from fiscal activities. So they are asking for a shift of responsibility. It is not to say that losses already incurred at the time that quasi-fiscal activity was being performed by the central bank is the cause or responsibility of the gold board. So let's understand that. Then I want to repeat my challenge to my good brother, Honorable Ejapa Messa. Honorable, the 2025 audited accounts were prepared by KPMG, signed by the current leadership of the Bank of Ghana. That is Governor Esiama. It is the 2025 audited report. It is in that report that the domestic gold purchase program loss for 2024 of 5.6 billion, which was concealed under your tenure, was disclosed in 2025. You see, so if you want to show that sammy, gyamfy is not being truthful and that there was no concealment, no cover-up, take your 2024 audited accounts and show me where you disclose that 5.6 billion. It is not there. You only disclose gold for oil losses.
All right.
Then finally, on Haptel, Ejapa, the old man, Dr. Bawumia, is sitting there somewhere enjoying his peace.
He's not an old man.
If you want us, old man is the balance the youth use to address people elderly out of respect. You understand?
Go ahead.
If you want me to go back to what I said and defend that, we can do that. But I don't think we'll have time to do that today. It is not that. No, I never said that by saying that somebody owns a company, his name is on incorporation documents. I was talking about fronting. And that is a discussion we can have. And finally, to your advice. And finally, to your advice.
4 years ago, you guys have tested
since you quoted the Bible, I want to quote the Bible and also end. Samson.
As long as you're not wearing white.
I have not insulted anybody. Somebody attacked my person and I have responded. And you quoted Proverbs, so let me also quote you Proverbs 26 verse 5. It says, answer a fool according to his folly, or he will be wise in his own eyes.
Okay.
So please, I have just given somebody the response he acted for. And finally, Samson, you are right when you say that the person against whom I use the word extortion is not in the studio and therefore it's not fair. I agree with you. And that is why we should try and get him in the studio next time so that it can be fair for me to raise that point. And if he so challenges, we can interrogate that. On that note, I am done discussing this issue in the media. We will be focused on the important work the president has given us for the betterment of our country. If anybody still wants to talk about good ball losses, it's their own palaver.
Okay.
If they call us to appear before Parliament, we will go and deal with the issues.
And thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you very much.
In the world, and we always had to struggle with forex and struggle with all kinds of things. We fixed it with gold board, but gold board is not perfect. And this is why I start. So, and let me tell this.
The Auditor General's report shows that they are perfect, clean, squeaky clean.
I'm trying to really make a certain chain. So
go ahead.
I beg you, help me. There was a time many multinationals, a number of them in this country, needed to repatriate their funds outside. They had billions of cedis. If they went to the forex market to buy dollars, which is what they need because they can't transfer the cedis directly, our cedi would have crashed. Everybody would have suffered. As the problem sat there, it got to the table of Dr. Bawumia. And he came up with an idea. The idea was, okay, give us the cedis. We will buy gold because we have gold in Ghana. They bought the gold, gave them the gold. And with that, they repatriated it. Our cedis stabilized. They took their gold, they got their foreign exchange. That's where the idea started. It tells you what is possible. Now, from there, that's a raw, like crazy market arrangement, buy gold. That's where the spot price thing comes from. If you want to mobilize that much gold, you buy it at a price that is better for the guy who is doing it so that he doesn't sell to somebody. Spot price happened there. But what it means is that we were solving a problem there. And therefore, you needed to buy it at that spot price and there was a nominal loss. But there was a greater benefit because the whole economy was saved. Then it was better processed to go for oil, go for reserves, and go for those things. Imani looked at it and we foresaw what Sammy gyamfy is going through today. That's what we foresaw. We foresaw that if we continue this arrangement, after a certain time, we will be piling losses. The losses make sense because you're trying to solve a different problem. But it is not sustainable. And I've been using this word in the Bank of Ghana trading or whatever. Sustainability. I've been using it over and over and over again. Guess what? So we wrote that paper and said, look, the way this thing is, it's going to create this kind of problems. This is what we foresaw. We were answered, Sammy gyamfy just read it. Okay. But guess what? After all those things were said, we ended up with about 18 tons of gold. This government took over. We're in a better situation, even though it was not a perfect situation. Now, my brother Nana Kwesi Ewa took PMMC, which was on backwater organization nobody cared about, okay, brushed it up, organized it, did a very good job, okay, but he was no gold board. He got to a point. Then the government changed, Sammy gyamfy comes inside. This new government had the idea of gold board. What I want people to appreciate is that you move from one, gold for Elko, PMMC started doing some work, they didn't, then we go into gold board. Gold board started. We sat here. I looked at the gold board law. We looked at it, we discussed it here, and I said, we have solved, we've moved another level. So we've done better than before. But that gold board law, I still have a problem with it. They are policeman, they are buyer, they are trader, whatever. When the stresses happen, gold board is in danger to lose its way, start arresting people and all. That's another matter. But my point is, we move from one step to the other. Gold board is the best we've done so far, but it is not perfect. Now, at that time, it was Bank of Ghana that was trading gold through gold board. the losses belonged on the books of Bank of Ghana. They created problems for Bank of Ghana. And we said that wasn't a good thing to do. Today, as we speak, there is a transition from that position for Gold Board to have its own capital, to do its own buying, to do its own trading, and keep the losses or the benefits on its own books. If you watch what I'm saying, we move from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. Each time we do better. We have not reached the point where we are perfect yet. So here's the point. Anybody trying to suggest that Gold Board is a mistake is wrong. Gold Board is the best we have done with our gold resources yet, but it is not perfect. Now, what is happening at Gold Board, and whether it is Gold Board's loss or Bank of Ghana's loss, it depends on your point of view.
Why should it be point of view?
Let me explain. See, if you send your son to go and trade, you give the person capital, go and trade, and he comes back with a loss. It's your son who made the loss on the market.
Is that what is happening here?
Let me try and make that the model. Please, I'm using an analogy.
That analogy is a wrong proposition.
Yes. Okay.
The foundation is wrong.
Okay, let me change it. Now, Bank of Ghana does not have a gold trading mandate. But like I said, it made sense for us to use our gold to help our forex and other things. To do that, they needed to use some other institution that had a better mandate for that. That turns out to be Gold Board. So if Bank of Ghana was trading gold through Gold Board, and something happened, somebody has explained it copiously. Okay, it is not Gold Board's fault.
Can I correct you before you move on?
Okay.
Yes, a minute. Bank of Ghana was not using Gold Board to trade gold.
Well.
The word trade means buying and selling. But Gold Board was not involved in selling gold.
Correct. The IMF is clear about that.
Exactly. So Gold Board was being used to buy gold, which the Bank of Ghana
agent
was selling. Okay, so the analogy that if you send your child to go and buy tomatoes for you, and your child goes to buy the tomatoes for you, and you go and sell the tomatoes and you make a loss, the loss is not the cause of your child.
That's right.
So let's get the analogy right. But on the issues of imperfections with the Gold Board model and all that.
I mean, don't take too much.
We don't. No, let me. Maybe I'm not. Let me just answer. We don't claim perfection.
So don't answer me. You let me finish my. You had one. Okay, listen. One of the quotations from the IMF says BOG incurred losses from quasi-fiscal activities in the gold sector, exacerbating its negative equity. It is telling you that BOG entered some space, and the space they call it gold sector.
And they entered that space in 2025.
My dear, I'm not answering you. I'm making a point. It's not about 2025. I'm making a general point. The bigger picture is we have, as a country, to deal with this issue of how we deal with our gold and our forex stresses and the way it affects our economy. And so it became necessary for BOG to wade into some of those spaces. BOG is not a perfect institution to do quasi-fiscal activities in the gold sector. That's the English they used, what I'm calling trading gold. Okay, technically may not be so, but it says quasi-fiscal activities in the gold sector. What it means is buying gold, doing all kinds of arbitrage concerning the gold, all to solve a certain problem.
Yes.
And my point is,
but it attributes to different entities what they had to do.
Yes.
And says for Gold Board as say fees.
I hear you, and I'm saying all that is fine.
Which is fees they are entitled to.
I am not arguing with you. I'm saying all these things had to be done.
All right.
Because we have not created a perfect institution to do all these things that we needed to do since independence.
Okay.
So doing it this buga way, we will have these problems. And I gave the long track because I say, as we have the problems,
but
we
now
solve them.
there's progress.
We are making progress.
There's
Look,
progress.
no great victory is won without great struggle.
All right.
So we are going through these birth pangs, but we are going in the right direction. And we are incurring some losses. At the beginning, the losses squarely belong to BOG. They are BOG's losses. They sit on BOG's books. That's why they are capitalizing or whatever it is. So I agree when Gold Board says we haven't made a loss.
Okay.
Okay. But we all understand also that quasi-fiscal activities in the gold sector was being done partly by Gold Board. So if it came from there, so you didn't do any gold work for Bank of Ghana?
No, but
wait.
You let's allow him to end.
You perform gold services related
the premise
to that.
has always been the problem.
Okay. I'm trying to explain.
Can I just answer?
No, don't answer. Okay, when I finish. Okay.
Oh, you're not done?
No, I'm not done. You had how long? Okay, let me conclude. My point is this, guys. This argument over Gold Board loss or whatever it is,
funtum funefu. What it means is, you see that Adinkra symbol, two crocodiles with the same stomach. Whether Jonah swallowed the whale or the whale swallowed Jonah. Whether it is gold bars loss or it is Bank of Ghana's loss, there is a loss. But the question is, what is the nature of that loss? Me, I will incur that loss any day to get the kind of economic cooling we have today.
Okay.
The point is, we need to process this thing beyond the. We've come 2, 3, 4 steps. We need to move to the next step where these losses are dissipated or minimized as much as possible. And I'm saying the next step we've gone to is that we put it all on gold bars balance sheet now, which is something they are doing. Okay, and then we focus on gold bars and say, hey, you can't be buying spot price. Spot price in ordinary terms is the selling price. You should be buying cost price. You add your margin and then you get selling price. But I've explained to you that at the time when this thing started, it was necessary to buy it at selling price because we were solving some problem. So in short, stop the fighting, the bickering, the animosity, and the attacks. If we can work as a country and focus on this thing, we should work to the point where when we are minimizing the losses and over time we see it coming down. Okay, and arranging ourselves such that, look, the gold fields of this world, all the people who are mining gold will mine it, give it to the government, get good money in cities for it. The government gets all the forex that we need to get. It will get to a point where Ghana will not need forex. You can't mine gold and have the kind of problems we are having. So for me, it worries me that the attacks are so bad and they become personal. Okay. And me, I think, Sammy, you've gotten advice from better places, like the vice president and all your friends.
Please, that was a fake post.
Okay, I hear you. I said you've gotten advice from better places. I'm simply saying you don't have to take my advice. But look, find it in yourself, okay? That space is hot. Tone down as much as possible, including, the Bible says, if they hit you on the left cheek, turn the right cheek. It looks silly. Proverbs 15 says that a soft answer turns away wrath. It is not easy. But you have not accepted an easy position.
The Bible also says a man's name is all he has. A good name is better than riches.
Yes.
So let's all be careful in maligning people when there is no base.